So we wanted to talk about taking action in kind of a broad sense and in all the facets, work or relationships or social situations. There's a lot of times you kind of find yourself in the situation where you think about something that you want to do, and then it just goes through this barrage of filters. And it was a big breaking point for me when you start analyzing those filters and you start asking your questions like, why am I analyzing this beyond, like, a lot of times your gut feeling is the right feeling for me. And it's weird when you encounter a situation and you bitch out at the last minute and then things work out and you just go like, damn it, my gut would have worked there. I can't believe that I just missed an opportunity.
I'd like to start with just some simple examples. So growing up, I would always think to myself, okay, I have a situation where I'm thinking about it, and just not producing any action. And action is literally that, is you just doing something versus continuously thinking about it.
Small and big things too.
And letting it fester in your mind enough where you end up thinking about it so much that you just don't do anything. You end up not doing anything at all. At work, specifically, there'll be tasks where I think in my head, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, this is so lame or whatever. But it's just the action itself. Once you do it, you jump over this barrier mentally and physically in the physical world where you finally, once you do it, you're like, that wasn't hard at all. It really wasn't hard. A great example is when you're with girls. That first move that you have to make where you're like, oh my God, does she want, like, if I try to kiss her, is she going to be upset with me? Like, is she going to turn me down? You're so worried about the consequence. But even if you get turned down, that's a great sign, honestly, because that means that either the girl's not interested in you, or maybe you weren't appealing enough, or maybe you weren't assertive enough.
That's a good callback to our rejection podcast too.
Sure, but my main point is there's things in life where they require action, and too much thinking is it's just going to lead you to not taking any action at all. Another example, we were snowboarding, and it was a group of me and 3 other people, and we stopped to look at a map. And this guy who's actually fairly decent, actually he's a really good looking dude, and I'm sure he gets plenty of ladies who are like, oh, I wish I could get a guy like him. And we sat there looking at a map, and he was just like, too much thinking, let's just snowboard. I was like, that's the mentality I want to take on from now and forever. It makes so much sense. You don't, when you're in the moment and you're just acting, you're not thinking anymore. To me, you get in the zone.
In that, I like that example too, because what's the worst that's going to happen when you're at the top of a mountain? If you're looking at a map, the whole time you're going down, you're going to be worried about missing a turn, looking for some route in the trees. But it's like, if you just go down, worst case scenario, you end up at the bottom of the hill.
And you go back up again.
And you just do it again.
That's such a simple example, and at the same time it brings up so many points. You're right. Don't necessarily worry about the route, because it's all going to lead you to possibly the same ending. But your thinking, your stopping and thinking is going to prevent you from living in the moment.
I liked what we were talking about in the chat earlier. We were talking about how
Sam and I G-chat quite often.
Yeah, we kind of come up with these premises, but I liked what we were chatting about earlier when we were talking about how, like, the reason people don't take action is because when you're growing up, you've got all these, like, you got goofy parents, you've got teachers, you've got supervisors, whatever,
police, authority,
yeah, and they're
whatever, doesn't matter.
They're just telling you what you're supposed to do, and then
they're also, sorry, yeah, you're right. They're telling you what you're supposed to do. Not only that, they're telling you what the limits are. They're telling you the boundaries, right?
Yeah, and so that's like your map on the way down. But like that might not. There's like, oh, you should go to college and get a job. Me personally, I think that's terrible advice for most people in this country. College is a horrible investment for. Look at how many people are getting themselves eyeballs deep in debt right now and not having any jobs because parents and teachers all told them college is the right move for you. No, it's fucking not. You got an art degree.
Yeah, and it's what sucks about it is that it leads to a lot of self-doubt, and once you start doubting yourself, you really limit your ability to go out and experience the world and experience yourself, experience other people as well. So it leads to the downfall of your personality because you spend too much time worrying about the consequences. Instead, you should be living your life and going and doing things, just doing whatever it is.
If you don't harbor your own like sense of initiative, then you're just doing what like people programmed you to do, and then you can see right through that. It's so transparent. It's this person's just they're just going through the motions, and that's such a horrible way to go through things. Like that's how when people end up just in a shit marriage with a job they don't like because they just went through the motions all the way through life.
I noticed too that it's prevalent amongst our generation, in particular young men. I noticed it amongst
from our perspective,
my group of friends, where we would grow up and we would think to ourselves, okay, this is what our parents wanted us to do, this is what our teachers wanted us to do, but the truth is, you have just an unlimited range of freedom, especially in the U.S., the United States of America, where you can become your own person, and the way to do that is to take action and do exactly what you want with your own life. I've come across so many mental barriers where even it's the simplest things such as, oh, I have to go to the store. Oh, but I'm lazy and I don't want to go to the store. If you just fucking stop with the fucking thinking and just do it, life becomes so much more fluid. You don't think about it. You get the task accomplished, and no longer is it something like, oh, I had to do this and I didn't do it. Instead, it's I fucking just did it. I thought of something and I did it, and now it's done. It's just another checkbox that you checked off, and it feels good to fucking check shit off. Trust me.
I had this great epiphany recently where I went through, I mean, I live by myself, you know, and I got a great job and all this, but I had this week where it was this productive week, and I came home and I was kind of reflecting on my week a little bit, and it's like, everything I did this week, there was no thought behind it. Everything, I had built myself to like, everything has been decided. There's no question that these things are going to get done. Laundry's going to get done. Shopping is going to get done. I'm going to kick ass at work. I finally made it a habit to do things, and it was a big mental thing for me to get over that. I don't need to sit here and like think about what needs to happen next, because as soon as you start thinking about it, then you start like going off on these tangents in your head, and you analyze what's going to happen. So, well, on Friday I'm going to go out, we're going to have a good time, like no question. I'm not going to sit here and like rack my brain as to where we're going to go. We're just going to go out, and then when I'm out, we're going to go to a bar. I'm not going to, who's going to pay for the Uber? How much money do I exactly have to buy drinks this week?
It's just those points are moot. They're not your points. I just mean like those thoughts.
Yeah.
Those thoughts are moot because ultimately you're not living at that in those moments.
You're adding stress to your life unnecessarily too. And dude, stress is what kills you at the end of the day anyways. Fuck all this heart shit. Your heart gives out because it's stressed.
You don't want to stress the system to the point where you're just sitting there wondering what could have been. You want to go ahead and just, I want this. Okay. How am I going to get it? Okay. These are the steps to go get it. Take those steps. It's the Nike logo. Just do it. It's so fucking brilliant because it's so simple And that's exactly what it takes. It seems very abstract and vague, but it's literally, if I wanted to go get a sandwich tonight, that's all I would need to do is just go get a sandwich. Go to the store and get a fucking sandwich. That's the kind of world we live in now, and it's enabled us to have that kind of freedom. So there's no reason to sit and ponder, oh, well, what kind of sandwich? It doesn't fucking matter. Go get your sandwich, motherfucker.
Unfortunately, this is how the conversation usually goes. What do you want? Well, I want this. All right, how are you going to get it? Well, this is how you usually get it. All right, go get it. Well, I don't know. Why? Why don't you know? You do know. You do know. Yeah. And you know what? You're probably going to make mistakes on the way. But, dude, that's fucking learning.
The mistakes are so beneficial. And it's a part of life that I think people don't embrace enough because we're so used to seeing perfection, under quotes, really, where perfection lies, at the tip of the whatever activity it is. It's like, so for example, I was thinking about something recently where it's like we see athletes who are at their prime and they're performing, at a level that some of us can't even imagine. But what took to get it there? It took action. You had to fucking just do it. You had to fucking go out and practice something to the point where you just kept repetitively practicing. Eventually, you get good enough at whatever it is, and that's where those people are now. The point being is, you can't sit and ponder, okay, what is it, why can't I do this? No, it's not anything. It's just do it. Just fucking do it.
Dude, I think there's just this huge social fear of people saying no, or you lose. Like, there's no shame in losing anymore. If anything, it's going to add experience, which is looked up on. It's so easy to just fall on that negative thing. And once you can get over that negative thing, you should actually embrace that negative, that feeling you get in your stomach when you lose a little bit. You should, that's...
To me, that's what drives people. A great example that I can think of is when I was in college. And I had a mentor who was a phenomenal speaker. And we went to a giant, one of the big auditoriums at CSU, Colorado State University. And it's a room full of future college students, not necessarily at that college. But what this guy did is he had a free T-shirt, and he was walking. There was an aisle that divided all of the future prospective students, and he was holding this T-shirt. He walked up to the front of the room, and he turned around, and he said, "Who wants this T-shirt?" Everyone raised their hand because they wanted a free shirt. Why not? And he said, "Okay, you guys want it? Somebody come get it." A bunch of kids, anyone had the capability to do it. They all looked at each other. Everyone just kind of looked at each other like, what? One kid in the crowd just stood up, walked up there, and grabbed it. And then went back to his seat and sat down.
Do you know how much shit is like that in life? Dude, it's women, it's jobs, it's free shit like that, it's money, it's there.
But what did it take? It literally took this kid to just go, fuck you guys, I'm going to go get this.
Yeah, and nobody's going to stand up and be like, nope, that's mine, and push him back. And what?
It took exactly the essential movements of the body to just go get it. To literally use this kid's leg. This kid had to just use his legs to walk up and get it.
A wheelchair motherfucker could go get it.
It was such
it's not even that.
Yeah, it was such a brilliant example of what you need to do to get what you want out of life. You just have to use your brain to say, brain, you move my body in such a way that I'm going to go get this thing.
Well, then every other kid in the audience is just like,
Oh shit! I could have thought
that's
about
it?
that. Yeah. I thought about doing just that, but I didn't do it.
That's your gut.
That was the genius part. Is he pointed out something to me for this generation of just fucking wannabe go-getters who just think too much. They think too much, and they need to act more. If we just all acted more, I swear to God, we would be so much more productive.
Yeah, I keep, for me, like the perfect situation. I can equate all this to just seeing the hot girl in the bar. Just go. You might not get it, but go fucking try. One of my mantras is the pain. What is it? The pain of missing out is worse than the pain of rejection.
That's a good one.
I would so much rather try and fail than not try at all. It's because then I can sit in my bed at night and sleep right because I know that, like, hey, gave it a shot. It's, if that's how it was going to work out, that's how it's going to work out. I'm not going to sit here and spin situations in my head, lose sleep over it, get anxiety, and then that builds on itself.
So it's great to have that mentality. I only recently started picking that up. I had trouble with just saying yes and doing, and the more I say yes and act on that yes, life tends to just kind of flow a lot better.
Things work out more in your favor more often than you would credit yourself.
And
in my situation,
this dude that I met, that I work with, it's great. He kind of forced me to make decisions. He's like, here's a great example. I was telling him we should ride bikes to work from Boulder to Longmont. That's about a 12-mile bike ride. Well, I was initially telling him, hey, we should do it this day. And then, he was like, that sounds great. And then he's like, so are you ready to do it? And then I said, well, maybe. And then he's like, it's not maybe. It's yes or no.
Yeah, what's yes stopping no. You? Like, what's actually stopping you?
And it doesn't even matter what's stopping me. The point of, to me, this conversation was yes or no. Just tell me yes or no. Don't give me this maybe bullshit. I don't care if you can't do it. I don't care if you can do it.
Maybe worse than no.
I want you to make a decision. I want you to not give me this gray area between yes or no. I want you to be exact with your decision. The reason being is because that pervades in the rest of your life, or throughout the rest of the things in your life. You start to say, that's kind of genius in its own right. It makes you have a decision and then stick with that decision. It doesn't matter what the decision is in itself. You made a decision and you acted on it. That's the brilliant part of that.
The decision making, it goes back to our buddy that we're talking about. It's difficult to make a decision because you don't want to feel liable for like a mistake.
Wait, which buddy?
Or something. Jeremy. You don't want to feel liable. Yeah. You don't want to feel liable for your bad time.
Bring up the context.
All right, so we're trying to go out to some breweries last weekend, right? 2 weekends ago. And I'm trying to get together with this buddy I haven't seen in a while. He's got a new girlfriend. I want to meet her, see Jeremy again. And I don't know Boulder, and Nick is over here blind as a bat because he got LASIK, so he doesn't give a fuck where we are because he can't see anyways. We might as well take him to the basement of my mom's house and feed him moonshine. But I'm like, all right, Jeremy, just pick a place. I'll meet you there. If they serve alcohol, fine with me. So, all right, I told him that. Shit, I think I told him that the night before. Texted him in the morning that, hey, I'm going to be there in 30 minutes. Like, just find a place. We'll talk when I get there, and we'll meet up. Ends up calling me and asks me how I feel about, 3 different places that he wants to go. And I'm like, I don't know any of these places. Pick one that you think we could have a good time at, and let's go with it. And then it's like he didn't even hear it. It just kind of went in one ear and out the other. And he's like, well, if we do this one, then we can go to this other one that's kind of across the street. But I like this other one that's kind of outside of town. It's but like it's cool, but we'd have to drive to the. I don't care. I already told you. Just like pick for me. My life. You're adding stress to my life right now. Just give me somewhere to drink. I want to go drink. And this continued for another 45 minutes or so. It got me so frustrated because I tried to train myself to this. Let's just go. Like I'm ready. I'm here to drink. If we got to figure out if we encounter a barrier later, I'll figure it out when I get there. I don't want to cross every single bridge before I get to the bridge.
Exactly. So
so every conversation that he had at that point was moot. In fact, I think we went to the first bar that we decided on, and then when we got there, we kind of chatted amongst ourselves. We went to another bar that probably wasn't even mentioned, and that was a good day.
It was
eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But that's the key ingredient is to just say, let's just go here, and from then on, the world is ours. That's the genius thing, is that you can always make a decision, and even if you stick with that decision and go through with it and decide, this wasn't the best decision, you can still change the outcome.
Change direction.
You can change direction.
On the fly.
Just like snowboarding. It's like fucking flying down a mountain. You realize, oh, this hill that we're on, it's not that great. Let's transfer over to the next one. That's to me, that's how people should live life. Granted, you should always assess your decisions that you've made in the past and say, hey, maybe that wasn't the best one, so let's try a different one next time. That's good.
Yeah, these decisions get really difficult. It's easy to put in the context of like snowboarding, but it's difficult. The most recent one that I had was I had a little bit of money that I wanted to put in the stock market, or that I had available to put in the stock markets. The options were it sits in a savings account and doesn't do anything, or I'm going to play with it a little bit in the stock market and see what happens. Like this is kind of like it's just money that I have to do this with, you know. I've got my emergency fund put away. I'm just going to see so I talked to a investment type guy and got the down low on it real quick. The next day I put it in. I just let it ride. I'm not going to sit here anymore because as soon as the market moves up, I'm going to be kicking myself because that was my gut feeling in the first place. I had already thought it through. I knew which stocks I wanted to get because I read the news. I'm up on like the tech stuff that I'm involved in. I'm not making a blind decision. This is like an intelligent move on my part, or an intelligent speculative move on my part. So the upside is more money, or in another case, it's pussy, or it's a job, or it's
it's whatever. It's a fucking podcast.
But if I didn't do it, like I'm up like 5% where I am right now. But if I didn't do it, I'd be sitting here just like, well, there's whatever amount of money that I could have gotten. Just, damn it, bummer. Gosh darn it, I missed that. And I'm just gonna loathe a little bit. That's no way to go through shit, man.
Sulk. It's not worth it. It's like this podcast. We sat there and we were like, yo, we want to do a podcast. Okay, buy the mics. Okay, figure out the software setup. Okay, let's fucking talk.
That took like a week.
Literally not that long.
And I'm pleased with the results that we're getting, and I'd like to think that what people are hearing are good too. But it's the like initial initiative, and just like why are you gonna sit here and question it?
Just like today, you told me, hey Nick, you should move your motorcycle out of the storage shed so that we don't pay any more money to the storage shed people, and get this guy, our friend Ryan, to help us move your bike because he's got a pickup truck. We can lift the bike up, put it in the pickup truck, take it to my place. And in my head initially, I said, "Oh no, but I'm lazy and I don't want to contact Ryan. I don't want to have to do all this." It's this mentality that I don't want to have to do these things. But I turned around and I said to myself, "Fuck that. Talk to Ryan. If Ryan says no, contact U-Haul. It costs $20 an hour or something to rent a pickup truck from U-Haul. Get that shit to his house. I won't have to pay storage unit fees anymore." It literally just takes you that split second to turn that shit around in your mind and say, "Fuck you, lazy thoughts. Fuck you, not wanting to do things. Fuck you not wanting to take action. Take the fucking action.
There's something so inherent to humans that like this. You're so biased towards being lazy for some reason. I don't understand it. I fought tooth and nail to get over it, and I still find myself asking those gay questions that you're asking yourself. Like, wake up on a Saturday, it's like, I'm hungry. I can make myself a dope breakfast burrito, or I got like a yogurt cup or what. It's just like, why is that so inherent? I don't. It's
so
weird.
crazy.
It's weird that it's there.
So crazy.
You have to acknowledge it to start with. You have to be like, yo, I have inside of me somewhere lives this lazy piece of shit that wants to be fat and eat bad and not go to the gym and hope that my job doesn't notice I don't show up and pay me 2 more paycheck or whatever.
Yeah.
Something inside of you lives there, but
it's so weird.
Like you have to look a few steps like forward. If I do this, what's going to happen in 2 steps? If I sit here and sulk, or if I sit here on my couch and be lazy and don't eat, like what's going to happen next and next? And if you don't see that foresight, if I put work in now, it's going to compound, just like any sort of investment that you're going to make on yourself or your money or your women. It compounds. The earlier you do it, the better, because you're going to have that leverage later on.
That's a great point. The laziness compounds. And
It's an attitude. It compounds in attitude, and it compounds in physical ownership of wealth or of all that.
That compounding too can take you from all you had to do was act on it on the first thought to this giant mental barrier now where you're sitting there going, maybe at work you had a task that you've been putting off because you were confused about the situation or you didn't think you could do the task in the first place. And it festers and becomes this giant knot in your head that creates a lot of stress, and every day you're thinking about it now, and it's in the back of your mind, and it just fucking sucks to have that thought.
There's no forward.
When all you had to do initially was just act on it, and if you just had acted on that, you wouldn't be sitting where you're now. And so it's a giant mental barrier now versus just a tiny one that all you had to do was just go boom, done. So from now on, I live my life going, I'm going to act on this right now. I'm not going to waste time thinking about, oh, well, I can't do this, or, oh, it's not the right time, I'm going to wait. That mentality, I'm trying to throw the fuck out, and I think everyone else in their life should try to throw that fucking mentality out.
I don't think you'll ever be able to throw it out, but you can definitely curb your attitude towards it.
Okay, curb it.
That's
So,
what I'm saying.
nonetheless,
yeah.
curb it out.
But you're right.
And act on it as soon as you're right. Be cognizant enough that you recognize it and you go, oh, this is the lazy piece of me acting up. So fuck you, lazy piece. And literally, it just takes action. That's it. If you can just take action on it immediately, it's done.
You can use this too to spoil yourself a little bit. So if you have, I'm a huge proponent of spoiling yourself when you've earned it. If you work your ass off for a week, dude, take a Sunday, eat like shit, don't go to the gym and sleep in. Like,
just fucking jerk
reward
off
yourself
3 times.
Yes, reward yourself. Reward yourself with. You're spoiling yourself, but not like
Just
you got to be a little, you gotta be careful,
Just get on the computer and start typing in the dirtiest shit that you want to see.
Pop 90 tabs of the dirtiest shit you got, because no one's looking. No one's looking. Just, and then it feels that much better because if you did that 6 days earlier than that, it would have just been the high would have been so much less.
Yep.
So you can get the high on both ends of that. You got to get, dude. You reward yourself.
Taking action is by far one of the best things that I've started to do, and I've also started to notice that when you do that, you busy your time and your thoughts on the immediate things that you have to take on, so that you're not worrying about other things like, oh, what is this girl, or what do these people think about me? Like, you don't care about that shit anymore because you're so involved with what you're doing immediately that it doesn't matter.
So I want to back up a little bit because I think there's facets of life that require action that you don't necessarily you don't really see them until you sit here and think about like where you stand in life. And my favorite example of this is like busted relationships or shit jobs, because it's really easy for you to become just cool with the status quo and not recognizing that something needs to happen. If you've been in the same shit job, it's probably time to it's cool like if you want to move forward and try and change whatever's right in front of you, because it seems easier and all the variables are presented to you really nicely. But if your job is shit, you need to take action on things that you had done in the past. It's kind of a retroactive, I need to take care of this because I didn't do it in the past. So once you have these epiphanies, it's something needs to change, and that's the action that you need to take other than just going straight forward. You might need to put some things on pause so you can deal with shit that you've compounded in the past. If you're in a busted relationship, it's time that you confront the issues at hand. Because if your girlfriend's yelling at you again, it's like, I'm going to address this for the last time. I'm not going to let this shit just sit here anymore.
It's very true. I think there's a realization period where you finally have to say, okay, it's time that I take the action that I should have taken.
I should have taken a retroactive.
Initially.
Yeah.
Initially. To me, taking action is something that you have to practice. And you have to realize that it comes straight from your gut. It comes straight from your gut, and if you don't listen to it and you think that someone's going to be offended by it or whatever, you're kidding yourself. You have to just say, I know what to do because you know what's best for you, and do it. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, man. It all boils down to your own happiness. It's how can I fix my current state of happiness that I have in front of me now, and how can I improve on it later? Because if you're not happy, then why are you doing anything else?
Why are you living life?
Yeah, seriously. Like if you don't have your happiness and your health, you have nothing. I don't give a shit how much nice things everybody else has. We've talked about this before. There are rich motherfuckers out there. I guarantee you they are not nearly as happy as I am. And I am by no means a rich motherfucker. I am middle class as it gets.
They might be sitting on their yacht, but they still might be super confused as to what the fuck they are doing with their lives.
They're sulking, man. They don't get it. There hasn't been this grind that we're talking about. And it's all part of just fixing what the fuck's in front of you.
It's self-reflection, but it's also learning from that self-reflection. And then once you learn from it, in the future and in the immediate right now, you go, okay, I know what to do, and then do it.
Dude, it's a long
Fucking
process.
do it.
It's a long process too.
It can be.
It took me a year figuring out just like, well, I mean, I was fortunate enough to like have these epiphanies in school, so where like it's a little bit more forgiving, but the rules don't change. The situations just get bigger.
Yep.
So when you have the opportunity, just don't waste your time.
One final example I would bring up is your friends. So when you look at your friends and you go, are these people helping me get to my goals? Are these people supportive in what I want? If the answer is no, stop fucking hanging out with them. Take that action. Don't fucking be around people that aren't going to help you get what you want, and they're not going to help you take action
Because they have that lazy piece of shit inside them that you do.
Yes,
So
exactly.
they have if they're not confronting it, that shit's gonna wear off on you anyways.
Fucking get rid of those kind of people. If they're not taking action
Or-
with their lives and they're letting someone else fucking help them and guide them, whatever it is. If your friend reads a magazine and goes, oh, well, I read in this magazine that we should do this and this. No, fuck you. Fucking ask yourself, what do I want? How am I going to get it? And then fucking take action.
It's a good point, actually. So if you've got this small or big dream of yours, whatever, weekend plans or career, and you tell your friends about it, if they express doubt, explain to them exactly like where you're coming from, and if they just keep giving you that negative bullshit, then you know they're not their lazy piece of shit is still overpowering their lives. It's like you don't need that shit in you because they're just gonna keep coming back at you with it. I don't know, man. It's like I try to cut all the fat off of me. I'm running as lean as I can.
Good.
Because I'm trying to be a rocket ship to the moon. And seriously, if you don't want to join my fucking ship, then you can take off.
That's fine, and that's great.
Yeah.
It boils down to every decision you have to make. If it requires thought, don't put more thought in it than it needs. Once you come to a decision,
research. Yeah.
Once you come to a decision, take that action. That's
man.
It's as simple as that.
Cool. I think we're gonna leave it there. We appreciate your feedback from the last one, you guys. We really enjoyed doing this. We would like to hear from you guys. We know that there was a little bit of audio quality issues last time. We're working on fixing that for the future, and we look forward to hearing from you. And we're gonna keep doing this. And any suggestions you guys got, I'm gonna take them all. But yeah,
Thanks for listening.
Till next time.